Hello, welcome back to another video presented by Acuity PPM, where today we're going to look at the difference between project and portfolio management software. PMOs are looking at software all the time, and what's the difference? We're going to dive into that today. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel because we're putting out great content that you do not want to miss that will help you better manage your PMO and your portfolio. So with that, let's get started. And we'll begin with definitions of project and portfolio management, just to level set. And the project definitions come to us courtesy of Michael Hannon, who says that a project is an investment in time and resources undertaken to generate maximum positive impact. Project management then is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to those project activities to maximize the return on investments. Notice the emphasis on project investment, because projects are investments that have inherent business value. On the portfolio side, a portfolio is a collection of projects and programs. But project portfolio management is a senior leadership discipline that drives strategic execution and maximizes business value delivery through the selection, optimization, and oversight of those project investments that align to business goals and strategies. So projects have inherent business value. Portfolio management is about maximizing the value we can generate from our project investments. So when we come to software, project management software is really focused on managing individual projects. It can help communicate information about a specific project, and it's commonly used by project managers and team members. Portfolio management software, though, is focused on the entire portfolio of projects to give holistic visibility of those projects to senior leaders to make better strategic decisions. And the software is commonly used by PMO leaders, senior managers, project managers, resource managers in order to provide the right information to make better strategic decisions. From a capability standpoint, we're going to start looking at the difference between project management software and portfolio management software, highlighting that there are in fact some overlaps. Project management software traditionally has been focused on project planning and scheduling. It's usually a scheduling tool to help create a breakdown of all the work that needs to get done, assign it, and identify when the work needs to start and finish. That's the traditional aspect of project management software. Nowadays, and we'll talk about the different types of project tools out there, but there's more task management involved today, team collaboration, project reporting, some level of resource assignments, document management, time tracking, and project budgeting. These are capabilities that are found in different project management systems. On the portfolio side, since we're looking at the investments in the portfolio, we're really interested in tracking the projects in the portfolio. And then based on the roll-up or the aggregation of the data, we get portfolio level analytics, reports, and dashboards. We also want to look at the roadmap of the projects in the portfolio. That could be broken down by strategy or by department. We also want to look at work intake. How do we take on new project requests? Resource capacity planning is looking at all the resource assignments across the projects and rolling that up to look at the total utilization of individuals and teams to determine if we can take on new work and if we can get our existing work done. Some PPM solutions also incorporate prioritization. Some have time tracking capabilities as well as more dedicated financial tracking. Notice the overlap on time tracking and budgeting. Nowadays, we have 4 types of project management solutions. Starting with the light project management tools, and these have come on the scene in the last few years. They are simplistic, they often help with task management, or it's often referred to as work management. We simply need to get work done. These can be simple tools that are card-based, Kanban boards that help teams manage work. Doesn't have to be Kanban specific, but these are simpler tools, often for teams that may have less project management experience or do not need as robust of a solution. Second, we have agile project management, which has become very popular in recent years. And based on the agile methodology, it requires a different type of software to accommodate. Third, we have the standard project management solutions. I'd call these more the traditional project tools. These are commonly used by experienced project managers, so you can create a complete work breakdown structure. You can do all of your project planning and scheduling with dependencies and other relationships. And then you get often more robust functionality, such as what we saw on the previous page. And then you've got another category of project and portfolio management. And these are solutions that attempt to do both. They provide some level of project management and some level of portfolio management in a single solution. So we want to at least highlight some of the shortcomings or considerations for project management tools. One of which is many lack full status reporting features. You might get metrics on schedule performance, but to have a full status report, most project managers are still going out to PowerPoint or Excel or email to provide the commentary. That commentary is often lacking in many of the project tools. The tools also, many of them lack the ability to do a full risk and issue management, to have the full risk and issue logs. Of course, some tools out there do, but I've observed in general that a lot of tools lack those capabilities. Stakeholders also have struggled to see all the project timelines at once. That's the road mapping feature. So even when a PMO or a project department has a lot of people using the same project scheduling software, it can still be difficult, if not impossible, to roll all those schedules up and have a centralized view. That's part of the reason why companies might choose a solution that does project and portfolio management. It's also possible that some of the project management software simply is too complicated for simple projects. And we'll come to that when looking at options. And then finally, it can be hard to pick a single solution that fits all use cases. And we'll address that as well. Certainly, based on these things, you can see why some companies would have a tendency to move toward one solution that does project and portfolio management. And when we come to that, we'll explain the caution that we would advise from doing that. There's a lot of shortcomings with that approach. We can also take a look at portfolio management software, and we'd highlight that there's probably 3 categories. And we've highlighted kind of a spectrum. That some solutions are lower cost with fewer features, but are easier to use and easier to adopt. And if you've seen our video on portfolio management software, the guide, then you would know that we strongly advocate usability. That applies to project scheduling tools as well. Usability is paramount. Now, the difference is that a lot of the project tools are in fact relatively easy to use. It's the portfolio management solutions that can have difficulties with usability and adoption. So starting from the left-hand side, we've got a category of lightweight PPM tools. These are solutions that are great for organizations new to portfolio management, maybe a new project management office, and they're often at a level 1 or maybe a level 2 maturity. In the middle, we've got a mid-tier PPM software. And as we move to the right, you're adding cost, you're adding functionality, and you're adding complexity, which can be a detriment to adoption. But the mid-tier solutions can be a good sweet spot for PMOs that are more advanced and need a more advanced tool set. On the far right side, we have the traditional heavyweight PPM solutions. These are the ones that are found in Gartner's Magic Quadrant. And even according to Gartner, only the elite and advanced PMOs are going to be successful with these tools because they're the most complex, they're the most expensive, and they have a track record of lower user adoption. So the risk of a poor adoption is much greater with the more complex tools. Again, take a look at our video on the PPM software guide because we get into a lot more details highlighting what to look for with PPM tools. Some of the common challenges with portfolio management software is the value gap, where you may invest a lot in the solution, but you only utilize a small amount of the functionality that you could have easily have gotten from a lighter weight solution. So be careful getting the solution that has so much functionality that you may never use. That's the value gap. The complexity gap is where we've adopted far more functionality than we can successfully utilize. And that's the temptation. If you buy a complex solution that costs a lot of money, you want to get as much value, and so you want to turn on as many features as possible. That can frustrate user adoption. That's the complexity gap. We've already talked about user experience. Usability is critical for these tools, both project and portfolio management, but it's all the more important for portfolio management due to the relative complexity. And then, like we mentioned, trying to address all your project and portfolio needs with one solution can be problematic, largely because project managers, they prefer to use their tool of choice. Most PMs that I've met, they do not like to be forced into a single solution if they already have a project solution that works for them. That doesn't mean that a single solution can't work. It does, and there are cases where it makes sense. But especially if you have multiple use cases for project management, trying to force everyone into one solution is a recipe for disaster. And then lastly, the more complex you get, the more your implementation costs will be and the higher the maintenance costs by having to add headcount to maintain this solution. So what should a PMO do? Here's our recommendation for utilizing project and portfolio management software. The first on the project management side is to identify the project management use cases. We've talked about the different types of software. You've got the task management, you've got agile tools, and you've got more traditional project scheduling tools. Identify what the use cases are. Try to avoid forcing everyone into one solution. Project management software is relatively inexpensive. It's not that hard to get 2 or possibly 3 solutions that make sense for your organization. Take the inventory of the tools already in use. That would be a good starting point. There is a possibility that some people may have to migrate off of an existing solution, but I think the key is identify the use cases. Once you've identified those use cases, you've got an inventory of the tools already in use, you could down select to 2 to 3 solutions or tools using the best of breed project management tools to support the project teams. Again, you may only need one, but in a lot of organizations, 2 to 3 tools might be needed to support the different types of project management going on. And then if you're looking for a portfolio management solution as well, we recommend integrating with a PPM solution. Again, avoid forcing everyone to use a single tool, especially when you have multiple use cases. Get your best of breed project management solutions and then integrate that with the right sized portfolio management solution. Many organizations will do very well with a lightweight or a mid-tier solution for portfolio management. And if you're not already familiar with Acuity PPM, it's a new, lightweight, and cloud-based PPM tool that's great for new PMOs and project teams, that provides the dashboarding, status reporting, which is kind of a rarity in a lot of the PPM solutions, work intake, prioritization, strategic road mapping, and capacity planning. So thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below. And if you'd like to learn more about Acuity PPM's lightweight software, visit us at acuityppm.com. Thank you.